Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I built a mini AI assistant from scratch that can help you take notes, set reminders, add events to your calendar, all with just one tool. Let me show you. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome here. We talk about anything and everything related to productivity, efficiency, making your life easier and your work easier. So if you like those kind of stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button, so you don't want to miss out on any of our future videos. And let's get started. So why is it so hard to build an app like this? You know, with a simple UI where you can ask your assistant to take a note, to set a reminder, add event to calendar, etc. Right. Why is it so difficult to do something like this? Well, the reason is because when you want to build an application, you need to consider a lot of things. Right. First, you have to think about what type of UI you're going to have. Then you have to design the UI. After that, you have to write code to make it functional. And even after that, there are a lot of other stuff you have to do, such as hosting it, security, databases, and much more. Right. This is why building an application is really hard, especially if you're not a developer or you're not an expert in building applications. But wait, there is one thing that will completely change everything. It's called no-code tools. Right. Today we're going to be using a no-code tool called Zapier to connect to different apps together, VoiceFlow and ChatGPT API to build something like this. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so the first step is you have to create an account on VoiceFlow. You can do it in just a couple of minutes. You can sign up with your Google account or with your email account. So once you sign up, it's going to look like this. Don't worry, you don't need to do anything here. We're gonna be doing everything on the web app. Alright, so once you're on the home screen of VoiceFlow, the first thing we're gonna do is click on this button that says create a new flow. The reason we're doing this is because these flows are basically automations, right? These flows are basically the automations that will run in the background whenever you trigger them. For example, every time you say, hey, assistant, add this task to my do it later list, right? That's the trigger, and then the action is going to be adding that task to your do it later list. So that's why we're creating a new flow right now. The next thing we're gonna do is go over here and search for ChatGPT API. Once you search for that, you're gonna see ChatGPT API shows up right away. So we're gonna select that and click on it. Next we're gonna click on choose this action. Now we have to choose what type of message we want to send to ChatGPT API. We have some examples here. If you look at these examples, the first one is whenever someone sends a message saying, "What is the weather like today?" Then it will reply with weather for London is mostly sunny with a temperature of 18 degrees Celsius. So that's basically a very simple example. Person asks what is the weather like today, and then it replies back, okay, that's fine, but we're not going to do something like that. Instead, we're going to do something a little bit advanced. So I'm going to click on choose custom message. Next I'm gonna put in this message, which is gonna be a / that says summarize the text. Now after that, we have to mention what type of text we want to summarize. We can do that by typing in whatever you want to summarize. For example, if I type in this entire text, it's going to summarize this entire text for me. But we're not going to do that instead. What we're going to do is use user input. So we're going to click on this drop down and select user input and select user said. Now we have to select what is the actual user said. As you can see here, we have a whole bunch of options. If you scroll all the way down, you're going to see user said is the last option. So I'm going to click on that. Now when I click on that, I'm getting a text box. Now every time I build my flow, I always test it out, right? So I am gonna say user said testing, and I'm gonna click on continue. So now you see that whenever I say user said testing, it's gonna say testing. Okay, so far so good. Next, we have to tell Zapier to convert this response from ChatGPT into text. So I'm gonna click on convert to text, and now you see that the response is actually showing up in the text format. Now let's move on to the next step. Now the next thing we're gonna do is connect this ChatGPT API with our Google Calendar. To do that, I'm gonna click on this plus icon, click on choose an app, and I'm gonna search for Google Calendar. Once I find it, I'm going to select it. Next we have to log into our Google account to connect this to our Google account. So I'm going to click on connect account, and now it's connected. So we're going to click on continue. Now we have to choose what action we want to take once we get the summary from ChatGPT. In our case, we want to create an event, so I'm going to click on create an event. Next, I'm going to click on choose custom value. As you can see here, it says event details, and then it says select fields to fill automatically. Now the reason I selected custom is because I wanted to customize what type of event I wanted to create. So I'm gonna click on edit values. Here you can see that we have all these fields. If you want to fill in any of these fields automatically, you can simply select that field and then it's going to fill in all the information automatically. For example, if I wanted to fill in the date automatically, I would select that and then I can do that. But I don't want to do that instead. I'm gonna leave it empty. So basically, what it's gonna do is it's gonna ask me to enter the title, the date, the time, and the location of the event manually. So I'm gonna click on done. Next I'm gonna click on save changes. Now we've connected ChatGPT to our Google Calendar. Now we have to connect it to our voice assistant. To do that, we're gonna click on choose an app and search for VoiceFlow. Once we find it, we're gonna select it and click on connect account. Once we connect our account, we're gonna select webhook and click on continue. Now we have to copy this URL. We're gonna be using this URL later on to test out our voice assistant. So I'm gonna copy it. Next we're gonna click on copy URL. Now I'm gonna click on test webhook. Once I do that, I'm gonna paste the URL that I copied earlier. So now I'm gonna click on send request. As you can see here, it says webhook sent successfully. Now we have to create a trigger. So we click on add trigger and click on choose an app. Now the trigger is basically the keyword that we're gonna use to activate our voice assistant. For example, if we want to use Hey Assistant, then we're gonna type in Hey Assistant. Now the action is gonna be what happens whenever we say Hey Assistant. For example, if we want to take a note, then we say take a note or set a reminder or add event to calendar. Right, so in our case, we say user says, and we select the message that we want to send to ChatGPT. Remember that message was summarize the text, and we also added the user said input right there. So I'm gonna select that and click on continue. Next we're gonna click on choose a format and select webhook. Now we have to paste the URL that we copied earlier. So I'm gonna paste it and I'm gonna click on save changes. Next we have to test out our voice assistant. So I'm gonna click on try it out. Now, if you remember, we used the word testing as a placeholder earlier. So now we have to say Hey Assistant, testing. So I'm gonna say that and you see that it says summarize the text. Now I'm gonna say this is a test. Now it's gonna process it, and as you can see here, it says testing. Now it's actually connecting to ChatGPT and summarizing the text. This is a test, and as you can see, it says this is a sample text. Perfect. So now let's try something else. Let's try setting a reminder. So I'm gonna say Hey Assistant, set a reminder, and I'm say remind me to buy groceries tomorrow at 4 p.m. So it should actually set a reminder for me to buy groceries tomorrow at 4 p.m. So let's check my reminders real quick, and as you can see, it set a reminder for me to buy groceries tomorrow at 4 p.m. Perfect. Let's try adding an event to the calendar. So I'm gonna say Hey Assistant, add an event to calendar, and I'm say meeting with the team at 2 p.m. today. So it should actually add an event to my calendar at 2 p.m. today. So let's check our calendar real quick. And as you can see, it added an event meeting with the team at 2 p.m. today. Perfect. So you just built yourself a mini voice assistant that can help you with taking notes, setting reminders, and adding events to your calendar. The best part about this is that you don't need to code at all. You don't need to be an expert in anything. All you need is just a couple of minutes to learn how to use Zapier. And you can also run this on your phone or on your browser, so you can access it anywhere at any time. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. We'll see you in the next one.